Hello and welcome to another video review. My name is Astro Figures, and today we're taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Transformers the movie Bonecrusher. This of course is number 2 of 6 to form Devastator. Up in the top left you can see he transforms in 16 steps. Through the clear plastic you can see a good look at the figure. Looks pretty cool. And to the right there we have the robot and vehicle mode there and the cool art style. Moving to the back of the box, we have product shots of the vehicle mode and the robot mode. Both look really great. Again, you get the 2 of 6 for the combining of Devastator. Then you have Devastator facing off against the Dinobots in Transformers the movie. Without further ado, let's jump into the figure. And here's Bonecrusher out on display. To say this is definitely an interesting figure to look at. Now, of course, this is one of the characters that is going to form the Devastator. As you can see, he's mostly one color, just the lime green, which is typical basically across all the Constructicons. Now, looking at that, I'm not a huge fan of like one singular color. You do have the chest here, which does have the red and the purple, and the hands have a purple there. Along the kind of legs, there's also touches of the silver, which is just great. I love breaking up different colorings as kind of best we can. But besides that, the articulation isn't that great on him as well, which is a little unfortunate, which we'll touch on in a second here. Looking at his accessories, we only have the one, which is that of his blaster. This is the blaster here. The molding is pretty cool on it, and you have a scope as well, which is neat. So it's kind of like a pistol. Obviously, I would like more than one, but it is what it is. You do also have this piece here that comes separate. You do have to connect that onto Bonecrusher there. I do believe that this will probably be used in like the use of combining with the other Constructicons. Not 100% sure, but something to note. Looking at some of the molding and details, this is pretty impressive with all the like mechanical details going through there. The treads and stuff is also really cool to see, and just different details there. Even on this piece here, there's a lot of different things going on. So the molding and details are really nice, and even like the paint details, the vibrancy of the purple and the reds there are really nice. The head sculpt here is also really cool with the silver and then the red goggles. That's obviously really nice as well. But to give it the robot mode a score, we're going to give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely serves its purpose, but nothing really stands out. Looking for the articulation, the head sculpt can look left and right. You can also look up and down thanks to this little hinge point it has. Over to the arms, you can do a full 360. You can hinge all the way out. As well at the elbow, you can do a full 360 and kind of bring it to a 90 degrees. The hands have no articulation, as well as the waist has no articulation. Moving down to the legs, you can kick forwards this far. You can kick back that far. To the side, you can kick to there. The legs here just above the knee can do a full 360. The knee can do a 90-degree bend. The ankles can rock all the way to the side there, and you can kind of move the back foot, but that doesn't really add to any of the articulation. Other than that, nothing else really to speak of. The articulation is definitely lacking in a lot of areas. We're going to give it a 4 out of 10. Now jumping into transformation, we're going to spin the hands to the other side. Just flip them around, turn them around, and flip the hands all the way. So there's a hinge that you're going to want to hinge the arm up, and then you're going to want to collapse. There's a tab that's going to slot into the hand there. So just bring that up and close that in. Do that for both sides. Next, we're going to bring this black piece and just bring it out so it's like this. Bring this piece up so it's above the head, and we're going to split the body apart. So we're going to take the chest section and the bottom section and just kind of tab that out and slant it out so now it's apart. Take the arms and just flip that around on both sides, and then take it and hinge the part away from the upper torso and hinge that in. You can bring this down so that it's easier access inside. We're going to hinge that in with both the arms, and you're going to tab the arms together. And then we're going to tab this section into the arms so that you have something like this. Take the scooper and just bring that away. And then take the head sculpt and just tab that down like so. And then take the top section and swing that up. So that's like that. We're going to take the black section and we're just going to hinge that back down. And then take the legs, we're going to collapse the feet inside of themselves. And then bring those back in like so. And we're going to take the treads here. So there is a tab here that'll slot into the slot here. So bring that in and just slot that in. And then there's also a tab, let's go on the black part, that's going to tab into the treads. Just connect that as well on both sides. Complete, what we're going to do is take the scooper here. There's a tab that's going to slot into here. So just bring that around and then tab that in like so. So that is the transformation complete. You can also incorporate the blaster into either of these two slots here, just like so. And then that's the weapon storage on the vehicle mode. To give a score for the transformation, we're going to give it a 6 out of 10. Looking at Bonecrusher's vehicle mode, you can see it is the kind of tractor. It's a very interesting design. Again, because of the nature of the character, it is all in this kind of lime green. You do have touches of the silver along the treads. You have some of this purple kind of through the grill section. You have the Decepticon logo, which looks great. But for the most part, you do have just kind of lime green. So overall, what you're looking for is kind of the molding details. So again, we see the mechanical details there, some more detailing there. The treads looks really great as well. Looking to the back, there's nothing much to speak on. You can see the black here poking out from the kind of back section from the robot mode. The bottom of the kind of scooper here is the chest piece. So that is also kind of detailed as well. You have the articulation of the scooper, which can move up and down, but there is no kind of wheels on the treads, so you're just kind of sliding the kind of robot against the wood there, so it doesn't really roll at all. You're just kind of sliding it a little bit, so that is definitely unfortunate. The tread parts as well, because this is where the feet are, kind of don't always look great. They might just pop out like that, so you kind of have to keep making sure that they're straight on. So again, not great. Overall, we're going to give this a 6 out of 10. And then looking at the value for this figure, we're going to give it a 5 out of 10, just because of the use. This obviously can form into Devastator. If it couldn't, and this was just the Bonecrusher figure on its own, it would definitely be a 1 or 2. It's definitely not a great figure either for posing or kind of having it as a vehicle mode. There's a lot of pitfalls that this guy falls into that they kind of have to use in order to be able to combine into Devastator, which is a little unfortunate. I feel like with the Aerobots, they were able to kind of have the great figure plus the ability to actually combine. So this guy definitely does not have that, which is unfortunate to see. Now to round us off with this review, we're going to give a final score with a 28 out of 50, which is definitely a little disappointing, especially for Bonecrusher here. He's such a cool character that unfortunately falls into this trap of not being a great figure or action figure, which is a little unfortunate. The only real value that comes from being able to form Devastator, which we will be able to do once we have all of the Constructicons together to form him. Obviously, even the kind of accessories, he only comes with the one, which is, again, unfortunate. Wish he could have came with something else maybe to kind of offset some of the kind of pitfalls. The articulation isn't great, kind of the one color basically with just a little bit of purples there and a little bit of reds. Obviously, I know the Devastator is mostly the kind of lime green, but even just a little bit of more coloring or something to kind of add to the character would have been perfectly fine with me. But overall, kind of a disappointing figure, unfortunately. Now, if you did like the video, do leave a like and consider subscribing to continue with our journey of looking at the rest of the Constructicons. We're also looking at the rest of the primes in preparation for Nexus and the Liege Maximo. So if any of that interests you, do consider subscribing. Without further ado, that is the video, and I'll see you in the next one.